The resume is finally saying the right things. The next step is simple. Can you prove any of it? Because this is where a lot of early career folks stay trapped. They know a few terms, they have a cert, they may have even rewritten their resume. But when a hiring manager asks, what have you actually built? Their answers get thin pretty quick. And this is why portfolios matter. Not because you need a giant polished website to impress people, but because you do need evidence. You need projects that show you can do more than collect information. So in this video, I'm going to show you the types of cybersecurity projects that actually get you interviews for roles, especially those that are early career in SOC analyst specific. And by the end of this video, I want you to be able to look at a project and tell whether it's going to be useful or just busy work. First, let's start off by defining what is a useful project. A useful project is practical. It's relevant to the role. It is explainable, and it helps a hiring team understand how you think. And that means the goal isn't to just build something that's advanced. The goal is to build something that you can actually walk through an interview and that taught you something. And most of the time, that's not something you can throw together in a couple of nights. Good projects, they usually take time. They take iteration, they take troubleshooting, they take documentation. They take enough effort that by the end of it, you understand the topic much more deeply than when you started. What did you set up? What did you observe? What did you document? What problem were you trying to solve? This is what makes a project strong. So let me give you a better filter. A strong, beginner-friendly cybersecurity project does one of these things. Proves you can investigate. Proves you can build or validate something. Proves you can communicate and document clearly. Proves you understand the workflow of the role you want. And the best projects, they usually do more than one of these. And here's one more good filter for you. Does this project prove more than I just copied and pasted commands? Did I have to think critically? Did I have to make a decision? Did I have to troubleshoot, validate, interpret, document, and explain what I was doing? Because if the answer is no, then it still may be somewhat useful, but it's probably not a strong portfolio project yet. All right, let's go through some potential projects. So project number one, the Home SOC or Blue Team Lab. This is one of the most common beginner projects that I've seen. It can show initiative. It can show technical curiosity. It can show you can work with logs, systems, telemetry, visibility, but this is where people get it wrong. They stop at, I built a lab. And I can assure you that this is not the strongest version of this project. Stronger version is something more like, what did the lab help you do? Did you centralize logging? Did you create detection? Did you investigate any suspicious activities? Did you document your findings? Did you test anything out? Did you create anything new? There is a big difference between lab as an activity and lab as proof. Proof comes from the thinking, the creativity, not just the doing of a thing. So project number two, alert triage write-ups. This is pretty strong, especially if you're looking at SOC work. You can build a structured investigation project around suspicious events, alert patterns, or detection themes. Then document your workflow, evidence, decisions, and conclusion in a way that someone else could review. What looks suspicious? What did you check first? What did you rule out? What was your conclusion? This project can be strong and it can show judgment. And hiring teams do care a lot about judgment. So project number three, threat-informed detection projects. This is where you research a behavior, adversary, or technique, develop logic to catch it, validate the detection, and document what happened. This can be really strong because it shows research, implementation, testing, and iteration when done correctly. For example, if you researched a threat actor, mapped their TTPs, built detections, created atomic red team tests, and tuned the logic based on the results, that is a much stronger project than I used a SIM. Project number four, analyst support resources. This one gets overlooked a lot. A good project doesn't just have to be a full lab, a new detection. It can also be a practical resource that helps someone do a job better. For example, a reference guide mapping log types to investigation use cases, triage checklists, an event ID guide with analyst notes, a write-up explaining how to decide what data matters most. These projects also can be strong because it shows understanding, structure, and communication. If they are published clearly, they create visible proof that someone could review. Now, let's talk about what makes a project weak. A project's weak if it has one of these: random or disconnected from the role you're applying for, too vague or doesn't explain very clear, copied without real understanding, never documented, never validated, impossible to connect to hiring value. This is why I did a try Hack Me room usually isn't enough by itself. It still may be a good learning experience, but the stronger portfolio version would be something more like, what did you learn? What did you investigate? What did you document? What does it demonstrate? And where's the proof? That's your pattern. Learning tasks are good, but portfolio projects are different. Portfolio projects should show that you understood something well enough to turn it into something useful, explainable, and reviewable. So when you're choosing your next portfolio project, use this filter. Does this project help show relevant work to the role I'm applying for? Can I explain the objective clearly? Can I show what I built, tested, analyzed, or documented? Can I point to an artifact like GitHub, a blog, write-up, or a guide? Can I talk through it confidently in an interview? And can I explain my decision-making well enough so that it doesn't sound like I just followed someone else's steps? If the answer is no, the project still may be useful for learning, but it's probably not ready for your portfolio quite yet. And this distinction does matter. Not everything has to be portfolio proof, but the things that you do choose to feature should be role relevant, explainable, documented, and believable. This is what makes a portfolio help you get an interview. So if you're early in your journey, don't worry about building 10 different projects. Build 2 or 3 useful ones. Validate them where you can, document them well, and make sure they prove something that a hiring manager actually cares about. And give yourself enough time to make them real. Strong projects usually take multiple weeks at a minimum, not just one rushed afternoon. That's a lab. Because at the end of the day, a smaller portfolio with stronger proof is much better than a larger portfolio with unrelated random activity. See you next time.